Today I ducked up by agreeing to try out a new fetish with my husband. My husband and I just had a baby a few months ago, and we haven't been able to take a sexy shower together for quite some time. We finally got the baby to sleep and snuck away to have some much needed shower sex. We were so excited. Right when we were getting ready to go nuts on each other, he stops me and asks if I would be into something new. He wanted to pee on me. Duck it, why not? As long as I get to pee on him at the same time. So this glorious golden shower of pent-up sexual frustration, that of a couple of teenagers, commenced. Then, it hit us. Our innocent giggling turned into violent coughing as we began gasping for air. During our crazed excitement, we failed to remember the few bundles of asparagus we both ate for dinner. Why? Why today? The stench was similar to the breath of a 15-year-old Labrador that only ate fritters and compost its entire life. The water was hot. Really hot, and it felt like we were in the middle of a corn nuts and piss-filled humidifier. The mood was destroyed instantly, and once we could breathe again we couldn't stop laughing. We got cleaned up, and as soon as we got out our asshole baby woke up. So much for sex. We really are the worst. TLDR, husband and I hotboxed our sexy shower time with asparagus urine. Today I ducked up by peeing in my girlfriend's mouth. This was actually last weekend. I've been going out with this girl for a couple of weeks, and last week she invited me up to her cousin's holiday house for a weekend. My parents said it was cool, assuming that there would be some form of parental supervision. So I drove up, and it turns out her cousin is 19 and inherited the place from her grandparents. Long story. So I'm pretty excited. I immediately start thinking about sex. It's only natural, I guess. I'm away from my parents, and I'm sleeping in the same room as my girlfriend. So we have a great first day and get back from a party pretty early, at something like 11. I'm pretty tired, so I fall asleep straight away. I sleep right through the night, but sometime in the morning I feel a really nice sensation on my Venus. Without really thinking about it, I start to pee a bit. I always have to pee to get rid of my morning wood. I'm instantly woken up by my girlfriend, who's screaming at me something about piss in her mouth. It turns out she heard somewhere that a great way to wake your boyfriend up is a blowjob. That nice feeling I got was from her mouth. And then I peed in it. She cried a bit, brushed her teeth 1,000 times, swore at me a bunch, then eventually calmed down and made me promise not to tell anyone. TLDR, GF gave me a blowjob to wake me up. I thanked her by peeing in her mouth. Edit, I'm 17 BTW. Edit 2, so far so good. Front page of Reddit and no one has noticed anything. Every time my phone vibrates I get a bit worried. What I'm really dreading is a Facebook wall post. Edit 3, I don't know why I started peeing. I don't wet the bed normally, I swear. Edit 4, and the jig is up. Just got a Facebook message from my GF's cousin's boyfriend, who was up at the holiday house just before I arrived. He Reddits apparently. He seems like a pretty cool guy. I might be able to convince him not to tell anyone. You agree not to tell anyone, and then post it to Reddit. I'm calling your mother fridge. How the duck does that happen? HMM. I'm in bed and my Venus feels funny. I'd better take a piss. What? The only thing I got from this is that OP still wets the bed at the ripe age of 17. He pees to get rid of his morning wood, and he was lying in bed. OP, what happens when you're by yourself and you flawlessly execute this maneuver? Today I ducked up by ingesting my friend's brain matter. Today started as normal as any other, with a typical lazy Sunday morning routine. Wake up at 11, get showered, apple for breakfast, look around my apartment, and realize there's a lot to do. Today is my laundry deep clean shop redecorate reorganize day. I'm typically used to putting DVDs on the big screen in the living room and just passively watching as I wandered about on these types of days. I threw on Better Off Dead and got started. Within about 45 minutes I found an old DVD case, the ones that hold DVDs in a grid of 4 per page. I think 88 discs total. Score. New movies to watch that I hadn't watched a million times recently. I scoped through and decided on V for Vendetta for some reason. It was dirty, though. The whole page of the DVD case had specks and chunks of something on it, not just the disc. So I fogged on it with some hot breath and wiped it off on my shirt. Voila. Good as new. Little did I realize the little chunks of stuff were stuck to my shirt still. Well, 20 minutes later I wiped my face with that same section of shirt, and all the little crusty specks fell off, and a few went in my mouth, which I promptly spit out. As I wondered what it was, I remembered the DVD. I wish I would have left it at that, but for some reason I remembered where the DVD case itself came from. A buddy of mine committed suicide by gunshot to the head last year. His wife couldn't afford the professional cleaning service, which I believe is required, so she chose to do it herself. We were all very close, so I joined her to assist, along with another friend. This DVD case, along with a handful of other things she requested I take, and that she never wants to see them again. I remember folding it closed from its opened position on the floor not too far from where he sat. I then realized I had just ingested the crusty dried remnants of a friend's brain matter blood whatever. Frequent and vigorous vomiting soon followed, along with a very uneasy feeling, but it's slowly fading away. I don't know if this is a traditional TIFU, but it's definitely left me feeling like I ducked up in a strange way. I did the same thing when I was 10 years old. Got into a bad wreck in a cab in Manhattan. My face banged hard against the front headrest. I came to a couple of minutes later, and I thought I was swallowing my own tongue. My 10-year-old brain told me just to chew and swallow what was in my mouth to clear my airway, cause I thought I was dying. Turned out that it was a large piece of the cab driver's solid brain matter. He had died on impact after our head-on collision. Only after we went to the hospital, my mom, who was also with me in the cab, survived as well, and they pumped my stomach. I had actually lost a few teeth in the process. Did they tell my mother what I actually chewed down? She didn't tell me the whole story till I was going off to college. Don't think it made me one bit smarter, even though she told me the surgeon told her it was roughly the size of a large sardine. So, I feel you, bro. Today I ducked up by experimenting and exploding a glass bottle inside my ass. Let me preface this with the acknowledgement that no, I'm not a genius, but I'm a reasonably smart guy. Unfortunately, I'm nonetheless a guy, which also means when I'm horny, I'm mother duckin' horny. I recently got a pretty gorgeous girlfriend who is also into Harry Potter, and is generally pretty fantastic. It was a really insane story for another thread, but basically, she was the it girl on campus, and has been around. One night, after watching Night at the Museum 2, Solid Motion Picture BTW, we were swapping weird sex stories. She was kicking my ass, of course, as she had known more guys than I had girls. She mentioned one guy who was really into ass play. Apparently, he had had the most intense orgasm she's ever seen. Couple minutes later, we bang. Something basilisk in her chamber of secrets. Sex is fun. Well, a couple days later I got curious. I decided that I needed to try ass play. Don't ask me the reasoning. I had it in my head, and later I would have it in my butt, that this was the only way to go for now. I looked around for something to use, but weirdly didn't have much to work with. Finally, I found an empty Blackberry Eyes bottle that looked okay. I think even then I knew it wasn't my best idea, but I was also determined that this empty beverage was gonna go in my butt. God damn it. It started off well. I had watched a little porn to understand what to do. You may not realize it, but the male prostate is only a couple inches past the anus. I didn't have to go deep. Nonetheless, I was enjoying it moderately and pushed my limits. I don't think it would have been my greatest orgasm, but then I never found out, so maybe I should reserve judgment. Anyway, I challenged myself to go deeper and deeper. My butthole was not used to this, and in a way it was like a competition with myself to prove that, if I wanted to, I could get some surgery and star in Backdoor Sluts 12. It was enjoyable, if stressful. Then it got bad. I was doing this in my bedroom, ass in the air. Little did I notice how I had inched toward my low wooden nightstand. I became a tad bored, I suppose, and with half the bottle from the opening up my ass and unaware of my future despair, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I jerked my ass up, slamming the bottle into the nightstand, and shattering the bottle inside my asshole. What the duck? Jesus. Oh well, Lord Riekis, someone help the duck, my butthole, Jesus ducking Christ. The pain was the greatest I have felt in my life. The panic of the shattering, I believe, had caused my anus to close as tight as possible, trapping the broken glass inside. Furthermore, as I immediately slammed my ass to the ground, the glass inside further shattered. Imagine pieces of broken ducking glass, too big for your rectum, desperately poking and clawing from the inside to escape, as your poor ass bleeds from the wounds inside. Worse yet, simply farting caused the glass to sink deeper into my rectum. Yes, the slightest bowel gas or movement increased my pain tenfold. I called the hospital and got an ambulance sent. They rushed me there on a bumpy highway, mind you, and 3 hours later I was in surgery. I'm in a hospital bed now, and I can't look any of the nurses in the eye. Most of them giggle when they go over any treatments because they know what happened. My girlfriend literally cannot look at me without cracking up. She has taken to calling me glass ass or the broken butthole. TLDR, I tried putting a bottle in my ass and it shattered, plunging me in an infinity of pain and permanently bruising my manhood. Also, my rectum. Glacius amigo. Dude, funny, but duck you. But duck you?